Hello, my name is Heather Townsend and I am the writer of the Financial Times Guide to Business Networking. In this podcast, I'm going to be helping you get started on social networking. Now, before you get started, you need to establish what I call the why and the who. So why are you deciding to go onto social networking? Has someone just told you you need to be on Twitter and LinkedIn? Before you stumble into these mediums, you need to think about why am I there and who am I trying to meet by being there. That's probably the most important thing. Who am I trying to meet, or who am I trying to maintain a relationship and stay in contact with? Because social networking is a great way of staying in contact with a large network. I have something which I call the 4 C's, which if you are getting into social networking, always bear in mind. There are 4 C's that are essential to a successful use of social networking, or social media actually, but social networking in particular. Valuable content, conversations, connections, and call to action. And as we go through the steps to getting started, you'll see those 4 C's coming out. So the first thing you want to do is actually write a keyword rich profile about you. Every social networking site that you'll go on, the first thing they'll ask you to do when you register is write out your profile. And a good succinct profile goes something like this: a sentence about you with up to 3 things that you're claiming to be. So for me, Heather Townsend is a widely published writer, social media expert and performance improvement specialist for professional services. Note, there's a maximum of 3 things. If you want to just say Heather Townsend is a specialist tax accountant, great, you don't need to have 3, but no more than 3 because it damages your credibility. And then you need a paragraph that justifies why you are those 3 things. So for me, I'd say something along the lines of, over the past decade, Heather has trained and coached over 1,000 lawyers, accountants and other professionals at every level in a professional practice. So that kind of says I am a bit of a performance improvement specialist for professional services. I also mention that I am the UK's foremost expert in how to build profitable and meaningful relationships when you meet them online. And I can justify that with the fact that in my business I've grown within 2 years over 100k's worth of business from scratch through my use of social media. And then finally, I put in my paragraph that I've been commissioned to write on key business topics by the Financial Times. So as you can see, all these 3 sentences are backing up that statement that says Heather Townsend is a widely published author, social media expert and performance improvement specialist for professional services. So once you've got your profile written, you can change it for different mediums. So Twitter, you're going to need to sort of squeeze that into 160 characters. Something like LinkedIn, you've got a lot more space, so you can expand on that. You then want to go and find a decent head and shoulders shots of you. I'm guessing you're wanting to go on to social networking to generate business for your professional practice. Therefore, you need to look professional. You need that head and shoulders shot. So find it. You need a low resolution version of it, and you often just need to crop the head. Excuse me. So once you've got your picture, you've got your profile written, you're ready to join what I call the big 3. And this is Facebook, LinkedIn and Twitter. Some people might include e-Academy in there, and there are other online forums that are specialist and well worth having a presence. But for example, with Facebook, there are more people in the UK with a Facebook account than they have landline accounts. So it really is one of the mediums to be there. LinkedIn is probably the biggest playground for professionals and way of meeting professionals online. And then finally, Twitter is the place to make quick, rapid conversations, just as if you were at a mix and mingle type networking event. So those are the 3 that you need to be on. Now, do you remember one of the C's that I said was connections? You now need to go and find and approach those connections. Something like LinkedIn will suggest them. If you Twitter, when you first go on, if you let them look through your address book, that will suggest them. So the first thing to do is, when you go onto Facebook, LinkedIn or Twitter, is to connect with people that you already have a relationship with. And say hi and say why you want to connect with them. Try not and just have the bland, I want to connect with you here. Try and personalise the message as much as possible. So once you've generated those connections, you might actually now want to actively start approaching more connections. But I would say hold back, particularly on Twitter, going and approaching people until you've got some valuable content for them. And this, remember, I talked about the 4 C's. This is the valuable content. So you want to be actually putting stuff into Twitter. You want to be putting status updates, posting stuff on both LinkedIn and Facebook before you actively start approaching people. Now, one of the ways to generate valuable content is to start blogging. So either use a free account, or if you've got the luxury, download WordPress, which is my favourite. Download WordPress into your domain. Have a word with your IT people so you can get a header so it looks like it's part of your website. I mean, even better if your website is a blog site, but that's for another day. So you want to make sure that you've started blogging, you've got some valuable content that you can send people back to read, and you can sort of put there to link, because a blog on its own is generally, not useless is the wrong word, but you need a mechanism to get people to the blog. This is why you need the connections, this is why you need the conversations, part of that 4 C's. So that's why you have social networking, that you're in the social network, because you can then promote your content and get people to read that. And then finally, once you've started blogging, you want to also be reaching out and commenting on other blogs about your specialist subject. I recommend that you go to Google Reader, Feed Reader, and you set up some RSS feeds of some blog sites that are blogging around your specialist subject, on other stuff that interests you, because you can then start to share the content. Because one of the things about social networking is taking the time to share interesting content with other people. And I would suggest you don't always share your own content. You find stuff that's of interest to your target market and you share them. And having good quality content that you can regularly share, both of your own and other people, that you can easily grab from your RSS feeder, is essential for that. And then finally, to get started and to get going, you've got to overcome that initial bit of inertia. You need some momentum. So set yourself a goal of 30 minutes each day going into your social networking sites and striking and having a conversation, maybe requesting to connect with someone, but spend 30 minutes each day until you get that momentum up. So to summarise, the key steps to getting started are, first of all, establish the why and the who, write your keyword-rich profile, join the big 3 of social networking, Twitter, LinkedIn and Facebook, find and approach connections, do start blogging, set up your Google RSS feed reader so that you've got blogs that you're interested in and can comment on regularly just in one place, and you can also share on places like Twitter. And then finally, set yourself that goal of doing 30 minutes each day. So my name is Heather Townsend, and I am the writer of the Financial Times Guide to Business Networking.